What is going on, guys? Joey Franzo here with Flex Training Systems. Picking up with part 2. Going right into it. Same question asker person. Suhail, how you doing, buddy? Again. He asks, sorry for another one. What are typical rates of strength gain for your average intermediate powerlifters? I believe it gets cut off after that. It really depends. It's so hard to give you a straight answer, but I would say if you're a newer lifter and you're competing every 4 months, that 2.5 to 7.5 kilos, or maybe all the way up to 10 kilos, per lift. Bench is going to be on the lower end of that, so maybe 5 kg every 4 months, maybe slightly more. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to give you an answer, but if you're competing every 4 months, anywhere from 2.5 to 7.5 kilo PRs on me seems pretty reasonable. But at the same time, it's so hard to answer that question. I wish I could just give you a set number or a set thing, but it just depends. If you're in a caloric surplus, moving up an entire weight class, you're going to freaking crush. You're going to make crazy gains. You might exceed that. If you're a smaller guy and you're trying to maintain and you're super lean and you're trying, having trouble staying in your weight class, you're probably not going to make too much. And this goes for the intermediate lifter, Everyone's intermediate is very different. It's so broad that, labels are not very useful, if that makes sense. Timmy Peeler asks, if there was a WWE Royal Rumble at Raw Nationals, who would win? Clearly Ray Williams. Gary Hogg asks, would you butter my bread? No, Gary, I will not butter your bread. Donnie asks, do you have a specific formula you use to figure openers, second, thirds, or nah? I do not. I just go with my gut, but I will say that when I first started, something around 87 to 91% is a good opener. Something around 94 to 96% is a good second. And then your third is going to be, 100 to 103%, something like that. It depends. So yeah, I don't have anything specific. I just go with my gut and what I've learned through the last infinity thousand years since the dawn of time, picking numbers for people. Literally thousands and thousands of numbers I've had to pick. Darius Mikaloskis asks, how to eliminate elbow tendon pain hurts after heavy squat session? I would say make sure you're pulling the bar down into your body. Make sure you're supporting the bar with your back and not your arms, meaning your arms are not actually bearing the weight. It's really just controlling the bar and pulling it down into your back. Your back should be holding the weight. That's where most of the stress should be going into. It's also going to take time, grip adjustment. So moving your hands out, rotating your elbows down, and then just breaking the wrist. So pulling your wrists back, if you have flexible wrists, can kind of help with that. So, I hope that helps. Honestly, it's a tough thing. DG93 asks, do you get more hype for coaching success with others or your own personal comp success? To be honest, man, I really don't give a shit about my own personal success. In terms of lifting on the platform, I wanna try to make little progress when the situation or when the circumstances are similar, if that makes sense. So if I'm comparing Arnold to Arnold, I can do that, and that's pretty much the only me out of the year where I can train to really try to push myself. And progress, whereas nationals, if I want to compare nationals to nationals, I can probably do that because I'm going to be destroyed at all nationals because I have to handle and coach. But I get an infinity times more just reward and gratitude, and just it's just so much more rewarding to see someone come to me, put their faith in me, and for me to deliver for them on the day than it is to make it happen myself. I don't know. I hope that answers your question. Cody Wilson 93 says, how do you have the strength energy to compete after coaching all them days? I don't. I really don't. I remember waking up for Raw Nationals last year and telling myself, Wow, I cannot believe that I am actually going to do a full power meet right now. I was in disbelief. I felt horrible. Everything felt super heavy, but I got it done. I hit the wilks that I needed. You know, I came in there with a plan strategically, like, you know, I do for all my comps. And first goal is not bum out. Second goal is hit the Arnold Wilks. Third goal is go for what I want on deadlift. And I, you know, tried to do all that. Ended up missing that final goal, but, you know, due to technicalities, but it's all good, man. It's all good. So, yeah, I don't have the energy. I just, you know, when you put the stress on yourself and you kind of have no choice, then you have to rise to the occasion. And I think that's what's allowed me to kind of get ahead, you know, in this realm. Jacob Winstead, what's going on, man? Hey, I already answered your question twice, but I'm going to read it anyway. What are your major keys for a post-meal weigh-in? Carbs, sodium, water, and then whatever you want after that. If you need more details, you can hit up that last video, my guy. Hannes Buega asks, will we have first and second place 83 kg go 800 plus total? I want to say absolutely. That is the goal for both of them. I think we may even get much higher than that. It really depends. Abby Loy, how's it going, champ? Asks, how does a full power meet versus maxing out on 3 separate days affect your lifts? If you're mimicking a meet day situation, I would say that you get a similar result to when you kind of max your lifts out in the same week. Probably because the adrenaline, the you know, equipment is better. Just everything is heightened during a meet, which kind of, you know, roughly equates to what you would hit having an extra day in between hitting each lift all out. It's also a little bit easier to peak everything on one day than, you know, separate days. Some people say they feel shittier deadlifting the day after squats, even though they have to do it on the same day in a meet. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Steve Pertula asks, you have a first-time Nats athlete, super nervous and anxious. What do you do as a coach to calm and then it just gets cut off? Well, I just try to let them know that we're just lifting weights. We are doing what we've been doing all these months. They're very, very prepared. You know, I am there for them the entire way. I try to handle them if I can. That definitely helps a ton. That is probably, if I can handle a lifter at a meet, that is going to relieve probably most of the stress. I've been told this many times. Trying to put them in a position where they just have to lift and then I can handle the rest, it helps a ton. If I can't be there, you know, just them being a part of the team, them seeing their other teammates kind of go through it, and know that they're not alone, and know that, you know, it's not a big deal. And I always tell them, this isn't going to be your last meet. You're going to do many more meets after this. You're going to get better and better and better. This is just a stepping stone in the right direction. That helps a ton. That really, you know, just kind of reassures them of, you know, everything's going to be good, and put their kind of faith in me and their trust in me. And you know, that's how I like to do it. Vote for this Pedro asks, best advice for someone trying to get into powerlifting? Take your time. Don't worry about dieting. Have fun with it. Pace yourself. Make sure your technique is good. You know, learn as much as you can, and you know, give it time. There's going to be aches and pains. There's going to be growing pains in the beginning, but after a while, you'll get the hang of it, and it will be something fun that you look forward to. Michael Cataluna asks, what is my best, most memorable bro thing I've ever done at the gym? I already know why you're asking this question. It was the time, there's 2 times. The first time was when I had AMRAP'd bench, not even touching my chest, for like 6 or 8 reps in the gym with my shirt off. And I got up and I was just like screaming and like flexing like a fucking idiot. The next time was when I was doing lunges with 120-pound dumbbells and I fucked up my back, and it's literally still with me to this day. So yeah, I can't really forget those 2 things. This was back in this was so long ago, so, you know, I still remember it. Justin Bronsky asks, should you bench through bicep tendonitis? I mean, I do a lot of the time when it happens. It really depends, though. You have to know yourself, and you have to understand if it's happening from bench or if it's happening from squat. If it's coming from squats, you can probably bench through it, but you got to kind of deal with pain to understand what you can tolerate and stuff like that. Boyd Perry asks, what are your thoughts on many of the controversial rules within the USAPL? And then it gets cut off. I understand why they do it. The only thing that I would ask from USAPL is if that they would welcome creators to kind of do their promotion for them instead of having to pay someone to do it, or, it comes down to what makes the lifter happy. If I was running a meet, I'd be like, take all the pictures you want, record all you want, promote my meet as much as you can for free. You know what I mean? That'd be me. But, in that sense, I would always want to put the lifter first. They already make a bunch of money from entries, so after that, everything else would just be super accommodating. But that's my take, which it is in many cases, but in a lot of cases, it's really not. Yeah. Same person asks, do you think these rules will change within 5 to 10 years, if at all? Maybe if we make a lot of noise on social media and we continue to pressure them and they actually see numbers drop. So if you hit them in their bank account, right? Like if nobody does Nats next year, they might wake up and start to revamp things. But, if we keep paying for these entry fees that keep rising, then nothing's going to change. So that's that. Jonathan Keiko asks again, Blackout versus Fortnite, pros and cons. All right. Well, I would say that I know how to build. I'm above average in terms of building, although I am not a pro. I am not a god. So Fortnite is very it's very fun for me because I get a lot out of that game. It's always a different situation. It's crazy. It's fast. It's a lot of different stuff going on. And I really enjoy the strategy and, just the tactics and the skill behind building. Whereas Blackout is also super fun. It's just there's no building and it's kind of more simple. You just focus on yourself and the gun and what's in front of you. I really like them both, honestly. I could not ever see giving up one for the other, but rather both of them existing in harmony, which is what I think is going to happen next week when Blackout drops. But it's nice to see COD back in the mix, and I think the Battle Royale genre is booming. It's popping, and it's definitely what's hot. 22 Ace, what's up, man? How are you? Asks, from your experience, what are some key things besides genes that you think separate a top elite lifters, and then it gets cut off? I'm assuming you mean the top lifters from average till below average. Well, aside from genetics, just work ethic, having the mentality that you're going to get it done. You're going to do whatever it takes. I don't think a lot of people really know what it means to give everything to a competition, which is completely up to the individual. There's no right or wrong. It's just what you want from it. If you want to put everything into something, you're going to get a better result versus someone who's not. I'm actually going to do a video on this, really breaking it down and with bullet points and everything, just to kind of explain it. So good question. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the question you have all been waiting for, who's going to win, Sean or Russ? I'm going to go get some water, and when I get back, I'm going to answer this question because I need to explain. All right, I'm back. What's good, peeps? Sean and Russ. All right, well, I'm just going to start from one lifter, move to the next one, and that'll be it. Sean has had his best prep ever. I think this is a long time coming. Just having a good meet like this. We've had many meets to put together data sets and come up with a great day. So he's going to be very strong. I think he'll go over 800. Obviously he doesn't squat as much as Russ. Bench is going to be right around there, and then it's going to probably come down to deadlifts. Russ, obviously you guys know, very, very big squatter. I think this meet's going to be his best squat ever. His bench has made big improvements, and his deadlift is much healthier than it has been the past 2 comps. So I'm expecting something pretty good out of him on pulls. It's gonna be very tough to give you guys an answer. If I had to pick one, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I need to. If somebody misses on depth, they're probably out. If somebody misses a lift, if they miss a bench, they might be able to make it up, but nobody can miss. So my goal for this Raw Nationals is going to be to pull the most out of them as objectively as I possibly can. I want to load the bar as heavy, and get as much on there as I can without them missing. And I think if I do that, and I hope for no technical problems, then, we're going to have a great fight. It's going to be one of the biggest matchups and the craziest fights you guys have ever seen at a Raw Nationals, and I am happy to have been in the mix. I'm happy to have coached these guys. Sean's been working with me for 4 years. Russ coming up on about a year and a half, and just seeing them both grow and evolve and just get better over time is really rewarding for me. And I think there's no surprise. Like, I'm not surprised that 2 of my own guys are going up head to head, especially when I got some time in with them. I'm really proud of Sean for making the progress that he's made. I think because they are on the same team, it is kind of like a super rivalry where it's like they know each other. They're boys. You know what I'm saying? We're friends and stuff. So it's like, it's gang versus gang. It's flex versus flex, and we're going to try that competition, that rivalry is going to bring out the best in both of them. And I think, like I said, if no judging gets in the way, it's going to be one of the craziest, most insane fights you guys have ever seen. That's really it. I don't really know if, like I said, if somebody misses, it's over. I will say that Sean will probably be pulling after Russ, so he does have that advantage. But if Russ can establish a huge lead, and then kind of force Sean to reach for him, which I think that he will, that's a scary situation to be in. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be insane. I hope this answer was somewhat satisfactory. I know that you guys everybody wants me to pick one. Everybody wants me to pick one. When I seriously don't know. It's that close. And there's a lot of variables that I'm not going to know until we actually get in the mix and find out what happens on the day. I don't control the judges. I don't know what they're going to do. And I don't know, my interpretation of what I think is passable is going to be slightly different than what anybody else thinks. So it's that's a big question mark. But I would hate for someone to just miss a squat and then it's over. It's not even a fight and it's just dumb. You know what I mean? I want a good fight for you guys. And I want them to just put their best potential out there. And that'll be it. And then afterwards we'll be able to talk about it, and I'll do a whole recap for you guys. I'll do a coach's corner on each of them. You know what I'm saying? I'll freaking tell you guys some behind the scenes things that I can't even talk about right now, and we'll just go from there. But we're going to go ahead and conclude this Q&A. I really appreciate you guys. If you made it this far, let me get a hashtag realist1 in the comments below. You guys are super awesome and incredible. I'm glad that I was able to put one of these things up last minute and just get a bunch of solid questions like this. And I didn't even look at the DMs in the other section. I totally forgot to look at that. So, we're coming up on 40 minutes now. So I think we did good. But we got nationals coming up. I want to say very quickly, if you are, if you've been recently inquiring about coaching, right now what I'm doing is I'm just taking your information. I'm just saving all of them to when I get back from nationals. It's about time where I get in that mode where I'm really just focused on what's in front of me. We have a lot of lifters to handle, a lot of stuff coming up. I still need a lift, so I'm just going to focus on that for now. But if you're going to inquire, just go ahead and, you can do it. I just won't be able to get back to you till I get back. I just bought a brand new spiffy laptop, so I'll be bringing that with me, and I'll try to do as much work as I can while I'm out there. So very thankful to be in this position. I really appreciate all of you guys. Hashtag realist1 down below. Thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.